coming back soon.
Yeah,
he's close.
Has he played?
No,
he's getting into.
He's in practice. He's doing scrimmages, all that kind of stuff. But
how's he looking practice for? Does he look like he's?
No, I mean, yeah, but there's nobody. I mean, there's nobody on him like a sticky bun. You know,
true.
It's not.
Wait till you get out there in game situations. That's
right.
By the way, we are live now.
Yeah,
we are.
Okay, here we go.
All right, you guys ready?
Hello, internet world. This is behind the scenes.
Yes.
BTS.
Watch out! Be careful what you say.
That's right.
Yes. Everybody is watching.
The internet world will come down on us.
Oh my gosh!
Right.
Yeah. Again.
Okay, you guys ready?
One of these days, one of these little things is gonna. Oops. Little oops. Gets on the air.
Well, we had. It's funny. We had the attorney on
Uh-huh.
who swore. He said he dropped an F-bomb.
Oh.
So I quickly looked at the clock and wrote it down. So I was able to tell the station, hey, at the 3:22 mark in segment 3.
Hit the cough button.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's it.
Right.
Move.
We don't have that here.
That's good. That's good.
An attorney doing that. Can you believe it?
Jeez. Dropped an F-bomb. My goodness.
All right, guys. Here we go.
There we go.
Well, welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Bruce McGowan, longtime sports radio personality, and Vern Glenn of CBS affiliate KPIX-TV in San Francisco.
We are at full strength today.
Oh, that's
right.
Every time you know what? I used to have a towel because when you would pound on that thing, the
whole
thing
room would shake.
I'm
Yeah.
interjecting the energy that this show has.
It's Monday. It's Monday. Get ready for some fun.
That's right.
Hold on to
We're
something.
recording this on
Yeah.
Monday to air on Saturday.
Saturday. There
So
you go.
who knows what's going to happen between now and then?
A lot of things. Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Anything could happen.
Anything goes.
Okay, at each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question, and of course, since we're in football season, we're going to talk football,
Sounds
and we're
good.
going to have a football trivia question.
All right.
So a couple of quick things here. The Steelers blew a 14-point lead for the first time ever.
Wow.
I mean, that's
First time ever. You're
That's
talking
correct.
about.
First time ever
ever.
in franchise history.
Yeah, and
Wow,
they've been around since
that's-
1933.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
They haven't blown a 14-point
No.
lead ever.
Ever, and it's not even like 14
That was
points in the third, fourth quarter. It's 14 points
Well,
ever.
and that was a bad organization up until the 1970s.
That's almost
Yeah,
as
that's
many. That's almost as many points as Philip Rivers has kids. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I know.
He's got 8 kids,
Really?
and the wife is pregnant with a 9.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
is it from
gotta get
one?
Yes,
one
the
more-
same
okay,
woman.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like other football players
Holy
who have
smokes.
like 11.
I wonder if he's
kids
going to
from-
name them all Philip, like George
That
Foreman
poor-
named all his. Remember George Foreman named all his kids George?
That poor woman. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, she
goodness.
knew she was getting into.
Wow. Gee,
Is
that's
she married?
Is he a Mormon?
it's just
I was
a
gonna
third.
say,
That's a third of their
yeah.
marriage on her back.
Is he a Mormon?
What?
Is he a Mormon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because that happens a lot.
I don't. Must
In
be
the Mormon
Catholic.
community, yeah.
That's for
Or
sure.
Catholic, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right, this segment of Sports Econ 101 is sponsored by Pacific Private Money, providing mortgage investments that are currently yielding over 7.5%, secured by mostly California real estate. We have a very secure state here.
Very
It doesn't
secure.
get any more conservative than that. Check them out at pacificprivatemoney.com, and don't touch that dial. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be right back.
We're not going anywhere.
Right.
That's what
Well,
Aggie
maybe
used
I'll
to
go
say.
to the bathroom. Well, you know, who knows?
Stop saying we're going someplace. I remember Aggie used to drive me crazy with that. He goes, we're not going anywhere.
But they do that even on TV.
We will
They go-
continue.
yeah.
Oh, I know.
I always forget to say
That was one of his pet peeves. He was funny that way. He had his little weird pet peeves, and that was one of them. We are not going away.
Is he in Vegas?
No, I think he's back here in the Bay Area, pretty much retired. He never was really able to.
I thought
To
he
get
went
his
to. I thought
bearings.
he went to Vegas.
He was in Vegas for a while. He was in Southern California for a while, but nothing really worked out for Bob after he left KNBR. It was just, like a lot of us, he moved around a lot. I mean, I'm lucky. I ended up at KCBS.
I think he got in good with Salvador. I think collectively they got in good.
Yeah, 16 years. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good run. That's
Yeah.
not a bad run.
But once Tony moved on, then boom.
Well, Tony,
Progression,
there were that whole mess with Kruger, with the Felipe Alou incident.
Right.
That was, I was right in the middle of that thing, and
What happened?
the Giants were struggling.
Yeah, he was doing Sports Phone 68.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
following Giants games.
And,
This is when Felipe Alou was the manager of the Giants,
yeah.
and he had questioned Alou on several calls that he made in the game, the Giants weren't doing very good, and then he had said that Alou's brain had just turned to mush. I mean, what is he
brain
doing?
dead Caribbean hitters, and the thing was that Salvador had egged him on the night before. He said, "I want you to rip him," and I remember telling Larry, Agnew told me that somebody's going to mention this to Felipe. I want you to ask Felipe about it, and we're going to get the fur flying. I said, I don't think that's a good idea, Bob. And of course, against my better the writers and follow-up questions. Next thing you know, the whole thing blew up, and I regret to this day that I even asked the question, because I don't think it would have become an issue if I just ignored it.
Yeah, one thing led to another, and then Kruger was gone.
Kruger was gone
because KNBR is in bed with the Giants.
Well, and also the main reason was that they were being sold, and the new owners were very uncomfortable with the situation. It was bad,
and they just can't have they just can't have an employee just pissing on the product like that.
Yeah.
And so Kruger was gone, and he
producer was
gone. He just he.
And they got rid of that.
Bounced back.
Did you talk to Lou after that?
No, did I talk to Lou after? Oh man, Felipe was.
I don't think Felipe. Obviously, Felipe he didn't hear it.
No.
When he said it, I mean,
he didn't even know who Kruger was.
Yeah, he didn't even know who Larry is.
He never listened to the radio. No.
Yeah, these coaches and players. I mean, people have to realize. They don't read the newspapers.
Yeah.
They're not listening to radio. They're not watching TV. They're in a whole different
world. Different
they just can't assume that we live like we do, and because they don't.
Yeah, they do not.
They don't know current events. They don't know. They just don't.
That ruined Agnew's career, though. It derailed his career.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. One more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Bruce McGowan.
Just one more time?
One more. Well, I usually say that in the fourth.
A lot more time.
A lot more time.
How about yet again?
Yet again.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm going to have to have you guys just
back
introduce the
again.
show.
Back again.
In fact, you remember a few years ago, I came down with
I remember that.
and suddenly, and Vern was like, he had to take over.
Yeah, I
Jump right in.
Jump right in there. Yeah.
It's like you've done this before.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the Steelers thing for just a minute. It's funny. I think I told you guys this story. If I did, it's just kind of a fun story again. So my father-in-law, who's since passed, played for a very short time with the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the 40s.
Wow.
Before they had the face masks.
Back when they were called the Steagles, and they actually, for a couple of years, they merged with the Eagles.
Yeah, and I don't remember if he played there, because that was only for a couple of years,
Yeah.
right? But he told the story, and I don't know, he wasn't necessarily one of those guys to embellish things,
Right.
but for whatever reason, it's still a fun story. So, I asked him, said, what position you play? He says, oh, no, he goes, I was very, very short. He goes, I decided to quit. I said, well, why? And I think that what happened was, it was like maybe back then they had kind of like a farm system, like baseball. So he didn't quite make it to like what we.
Well, they had minor league.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite a farm system, but there was
something along those lines.
Something along those lines.
So he said one time it was like the Saturday night before it had just been torrential rain.
Oh.
And he says, if you look back at old films of football, it was a little bit more like rugby, where like tackle the guy with the ball, right, and just keep tackling until someone comes up with the ball. And so what had happened was, again, without the face masks, he said one guy, and again, I can't corroborate.
Corroborate.
Thank you very much.
Corroborate.
I can't corroborate this, but again, it's kind of a neat story. Apparently, some other guy, how he died on the field. You know how he died? He drowned.
Drowned in the mud?
Yeah, because what happened was a torrential rain. There was all this rain, mud, and all this stuff, and guys kept piling on top of him, trying to get the ball. And there was just so much water.
He probably was knocked out.
Something, yeah.
Wow.
And he goes, after that, I decided to quit.
I remember back in 1971, a player by the name of Chuck Hughes, a wide receiver for Detroit, suffered a heart attack and died on the field at Tiger Stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the only other time I can remember a player dying during a game.
And wasn't there, not too long ago, either an official or one of the coaches had some heart issues?
Yeah, and that happens. I'm surprised it hasn't happened more. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Or as, do you remember Seinfeld, where George asks one of the ball players, I think it's Keith Hernandez, he says, he goes, how come we never hear about like a plane crash with a whole team? Now, it did happen with... it
actually happened in
Marshall
University.
Yeah.
And also Wichita State the year before that. And I remember that was in Colorado at Loveland Pass.
but you don't hear about it in professional.
Well, and they, again, they usually hire their own pilot. They have their own, really nice jets. I mean, I travel with the Raiders a little bit, and believe me, first class. The NFL doesn't. They don't stay in the poshest hotels because they have such a big traveling party, but they get the same crew and the same plane, and it's pretty. Air travel these days now, especially, is much safer than it was.
Little known fact about the Pittsburgh Steelers: part of the ownership group of the Steelers is the Mara family.
Right.
You hear about
that
the
right?
Mara? Anyway,
I didn't know that.
The
family that owned the Giants.
The granddaughters are actresses Kate and Rooney Mara.
Is that right?
Yeah. So,
wow.
And they have it in their contracts that if the Steelers are in the Super Bowl or the Giants are in the Super Bowl, if they are in production with whatever project they're on, they get a break from the production so they can attend those
Is that
games.
right? Wow.
Yeah.
Rooney Mara, I
cool.
always think I heard it.
That was the girl with the dragon
The
tattoo.
girl,
Yeah. Yeah, the Kate Mara, she's been in several things.
The original one was terrific. The Swedish one was terrific, and the remake was terrific. They were both very good.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. That's good.
See, America, see what you learn. Little tidbits of information.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
So I was just on the internet earlier today and reading that Ezekiel Elliott got fined $13,000 for putting money and Dak Prescott into the Salvation Army kettle on Thanksgiving for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Now that's the gift that keeps on giving.
I mean, I'm thinking, come on.
They're trying to contribute, and then they're contributing a little bit more.
Too much.
Yeah. I mean, come on, especially around the holidays. I mean, you look at the video, and it's funny.
It's cute.
Yeah,
it's
he takes
cute
them up
video.
and puts them in the kettle.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he got fined for that?
Fined
Crazy.
$13,000
By the no fun league.
That's
the no
it,
fun.
exactly.
They still are the no fun league, aren't they, Vernon?
But they do let players celebrate after touchdowns to a degree,
That's
and I have been entertained by some of that.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
been
You know,
fun.
the guys with the bowling pins, fall
Yes.
down.
Yes.
Just, like shooting craps or something
Yeah,
like that.
they're
Leading
fun.
orchestras,
Yeah.
doing the electric slide.
I mean,
doing,
they're not taunting the other team.
No,
No.
They're
just
celebrating.
bringing joy to the
They're
world.
the excitement of the moment of
Yeah.
scoring a touchdown. Why not?
I mean, does it delay the game that much?
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
No. They took a TV timeout anyway.
There you go.
There you
Speaking
go.
of guys who like to celebrate, how about Richard Sherman the other day up in Seattle, getting burned a couple of times, and luckily the fans were pretty nice to him. They didn't boo him, but
For most of that game, he was not challenged. We were just like, God, when are they going to throw his way? Because he and
Russell
Wilson. I mean, they're not pen pals.
No, apparently they made up though before the game. They were seen, exchanging bro hugs and talking.
Yeah, but you were mentioning about
I think there were several exchanges of jerseys after the game too. I
Yeah.
mean, Sherman must have brought out a bag of jerseys here.
Sherman is an interesting guy. I got to know him slightly when he was at Stanford, and he reminds me a lot of Draymond Green. Very much shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
Very honest, sometimes a little too honest, but what you see is what you get.
And extremely intelligent.
Extremely intelligent.
And I'm going through the process right now. I got a family. I got one of my sons that's going to be applying to Stanford.
Really?
And
Wow.
even today, years after Sherman has been gone, he has spoken in hushed tones on his essay that he wrote for his college application.
Really?
Coming from Compton and overcoming that to kind of essentially make it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you were mentioning about him celebrating.
Well, no, I'm just saying that Seattle is known for their celebrations, and it would have been nice for him to go out there and snap a long streak of futility against his old team. It didn't happen. Not only did it happen, I mean, the 49ers right now are so beat up, there's no chance for that happening. But speaking of teams that are beat up, what is going on with the Green Bay Packers this year?
Wow.
McCarthy is out.
Yeah. And
that was kind of a shocker, wasn't it? Right after the game, I mean, he spoke, he did his press conference, and then they called him up to the office and said goodbye. I saw some of the highlights.
They lost to the Cardinals.
They didn't, and they didn't.
In fact, it's funny. I was talking to not funny, but I was talking to Jordy Nelson in a locker room because I had the Raider game last week, and Jordy was he wasn't surprised that he was let go. He just expected it to happen at the end of the season. He was very shocked that they did it, boom, right after the Cardinals game.
I guess the patience now is at an all-time low, and Kareem Hunt also getting cut loose right in the middle of the season. Now I understand.
Well, I understand why. I mean,
I understand why. Yeah.
And for those out there that don't know what we're talking about, Kareem Hunt, he's the outstanding star running back. He's only his second year in the league.
Chiefs,
who was caught on video
like Ray Rice
shoving and kicking a woman.
Yeah.
But no, the Ray Rice one was a lot worse.
At a Nashville at a Nashville hotel back in February, and this all goes according to Kareem Hunt and his fellas. They were having a little fun in Nashville, and these girls were up in the room, and they were trying to kick them out of the room because they were underage. They were 19 years old.
Oh boy!
And the girls wouldn't leave for whatever reason, and so in trying to force them to leave, he threw one up against the wall in the hallway, and that's caught on the video. And then F bombs and insults were hurled to the point where he reacted in a way that,
for all you guys out there,
just
her. Call security, unfortunately.
But here's the PS though. The league and the Chiefs, they knew about it.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 months ago.
No arrest was made. No charges were.
Yeah, 10 months ago.
So it wasn't until this video all of a sudden has just surfaced recently.
Which you wonder why that video was probably around. Hold on, you guys. We have to get to a quick
question right
here because we'll talk about that in a minute. All right.
NFL.
That's right. Who holds the NFL record for the most sacks in a single game?
Oh, that's a good one.
And I don't think it's been broken. I'll give you a hint. It's 1990.
Well, I know Michael Strahan had the most for a season.
No, this is for a single game.
All right, single game.
Right. We're gonna continue.
We're gonna continue. That's right. I like that better. All right. And I remember Strahan got a lot of flack for that because one of them was sort of a.
Well, he kind of fell down. It was far. He just kind of fell down.
That's kind of a cheesy.
But because he was the closest defender to him, he got credit for the sack.
Isn't Favre the highest paid player right now in the NFL? Something like, I don't know. I think I heard something like that. Brett Favre, I think he is.
Well, you mean he's one of the richest quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Because you said he's getting.
Well, he's not playing anymore.
Well, Brett Favre. What am I saying? Aaron Rodgers.
Hello.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's believable. Yeah.
Senior moment. Sorry. God.
It happens. Listen, we all have.
Oh man, I'm so sad to hear about Ray Taliaferro. That was a shame.
Wow.
Have you heard about that? Right?
Yeah. Just I guess a mile from where he was last seen.
Yeah.
In a wooded area, his body is found.
Well,
I don't know what.
I've been dealing with dementia, and I guess this happens. People wander off, and who knows where they end up.
I'll tell you a quick
Which
story.
dementia for a guy that had a brilliant mind that ran the KGO talk show and great pianist.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Right.
I mean, he could really. I mean, he could really play the piano.
It's crazy. Going back to 2004, my old business associate, his mom was having Alzheimer's, dementia, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was after one of those really bad rains. They found her body in Mill Valley. Like she didn't know where she was going, and she was driving in the rain, and she stepped out and basically fell down some culvert or cliff or something.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
And then they found her 2 days later or something. So there was kind of a painful way to die.
Yeah. Horrible. Well, we don't get to choose, do we?
No.
Sometimes it isn't that easy. Some people get to die in their beds, and others don't.
Yeah.
Find it such an easy way to go.
I'd like to go that way.
Yeah, that's how my dad and mom went, both in bed. Yeah.
Wow.
Dad was especially comforting his family around him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like George Bush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here, along with Vern Glenn and Bruce McGowan. The only reason I did it in that order is because he's sitting on the left, you're sitting on the right.
Hey, listen, no worries, man.
It's all right.
We
don't judge.
TV guys, they listen.
All right.
Come on, Vern's been doing this a long time. Give him his props, man.
Here's our first commercial break trivia question. Who holds the NFL record for the most sacks in a single game?
I'm going to guess Lawrence Taylor.
No. I'll tell you who it was against. The Seahawks, David Craig. Now remember, back then the Seahawks were in.
Wow.
David Craig, quarterback. Wow, it is going back a long time.
Against the Seahawks, David Craig.
Yeah.
Wow, it had to be somebody in the AFC West.
Yes. Yes.
A Raider?
Nope.
Chief?
Yep.
Oh, the guy who was killed in the
Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas. Yeah, I remember that.
7 times. If I remember correctly, David Craig had little tiny hands, and so the ball.
Kind of like Donald Trump.
Does he have little hands too?
Oh, they always tease him about that. And then he did that thing during the debate.
Daniels.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's a good one. We're gonna remember that.
You know what? That was that was a classy way of saying something that was a little off color.
Yes. Just leave it at that.
Leave it at that. That's all we have to say.
Okay,
All
so
right.
let's see here. Okay, let's kind of go back to the Chiefs running back getting.
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Interesting what Vernon was talking about. The
Well, you
particulars. I didn't
just
realize
can't,
that.
you know, TMZ, you know, they all they come out with it. And why does TMZ get it and the NFL doesn't?
Yeah, I don't know.
NFL's got more money than God, and they get maybe they didn't want to pay for it or whatever, but the league says they tried to get the video, didn't. The Chiefs said they tried to get the video, didn't, and the TMZ gets it, and then they bring it up, and then everybody sees it. You can't unsee it. I mean, the video is just so it's so overwhelming.
Well,
I mean, Chiefs could not look the other way anymore.
No, but okay, so you got to figure that the day after, you know, people know about it. Someone had to check the security camera, right?
Yeah, because that's where the video came from.
Yeah.
The hotel security camera.
So what happened between February and you know, a couple of weeks ago?
Well, I mean, the hotel had it, and I think it may have come to money, which you had to pay the hotel to get it. Maybe the league didn't want to pay. Maybe the Chiefs didn't want to pay.
Well, wait, was a police
TMZ
report
did.
filed by anybody?
Well, no charges were charges were made. No arrests. No nothing.
Interesting. Well, yeah, he'll get picked up by somebody, and he's going to get a second chance. I think the fact that he said afterwards, "I'm sorry, I made a huge mistake."
Well, of course. I mean, what's he going to say? He goes on with Lisa Salters the next day and kind of does the whole contrition thing. You have to do that.
Well, is there going to be a civil suit by the woman or women?
No, I don't think so because I believe there are holes in her account over what happened. I mean, she was trying to be the victim, but she was in the hotel room and refused to leave.
Yeah.
What's a 19-year-old girl doing in there anyway? You know, where there's going to be.
I couldn't even imagine.
Well, this is a much different situation than Reuben Foster, where he had this long history of dysfunction.
Well, that was a combustible relationship.
The Ray Rice one, I mean, he knocked her out. That was this one. You kind of look at it and, okay, we can all say he shouldn't have done it, but it was not as egregious as some other things could have been. You know what I mean? I mean, he kind of pushes her. It's like at some point you get a little frustrated. I believe
allegedly there was she had liberal use of the N-word, and however many times she said it,
that'll push her buttons.
Once was enough. Where he forcibly said, "You are out of here." And then boom, up against the wall.
Interesting. Interesting.
But in these domestic type abuse times, you just cannot put your hands on a woman, no matter what she calls you or does. You just can't do it.
It was a guy who refused to leave or whatever, and he pushed a guy or kicked the guy.
Yeah, then it's
it's a non-issue.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And what was it? The Bills player yelling at the ref on the way into the tunnel.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and this is not the first time he's done that. Yeah, he's wears his heart on his sleeve, and there were emotions, and he had a little something to say after the game.
He says that the ref called him the B word. You know, of course, there's 26 letters in the alphabet. There's some.
What is the B word?
Like a female dog.
Yes.
Oh, right. Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry for being behind the
That's the thing. I mean, okay. He called him the H word. He called him the J word. You know, I mean, it's like
everybody's a little uptight. Even Kyle Shanahan the other day lost his cool and got nailed for unsportsmanlike conduct.
I did. Yeah, that was
Yeah. So I mean, everybody's on edge nowadays. I think we live in a world today where everybody is so stressed out and they're so dialed into all this stuff on the internet that they don't have time to even think for themselves.
Yeah, in the case of Jerry Hughes of the Bills, he just he gets upset.
Yeah. He's tight. You know, and you look at Reuben Foster. If you look at his background, it's a horrific background. A poor kid, you know, he was shot when he was a kid. His father, I guess, he shot his mom, and the bullet grazed him, and then the dad was on the lam for 16 years. I mean, talk about a kid that comes into the league with a lot of baggage. You know, it's not a surprise he's having problems. We just hope he gets some help.
Yeah, that's the thing is that they, they'll do evaluations, but do they like force them into specific therapy,
Well,
ahead of time.
I don't know. The NFL has got a lot of problems on it. I mean, it's got an image problem. It's got a violence problem. It's. I think, I don't know about you, Vern, but I think
violent game played by violent players.
Trying to change the rules so that the defense has to play with one hand tied behind its back, I just don't think is good for the game. Because players are going to get hurt. It's like boxing. You can't hit another guy in the head and expect him to walk away. Hey, I feel great.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't going to happen that way. So.
Okay, moving on. Got a little totally different situation.
Yeah.
Highest per game payroll. What would you think? What sport?
Highest per game.
Per game payroll.
Tennis?
NBA?
No. This is
boxing. Well, boxing's not a game.
No, this is
for a team sport.
For team sport. Yeah. For the average player.
Premier soccer?
That's actually number 3.
Oh, well, then maybe baseball then. Baseball?
No. Cricket.
Wow.
The Indian Premier League plays for only 7 weeks. The average player earns $361,000 per game.
Well,
wow.
but a 7-week season.
I know, but still, that's pretty good.
Wow.
I mean, that's still $2
Isn't
million.
That's the national sport, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah.
The NFL averages $182,000 per game, and soccer is $104,000 per game.
You're talking about
average.
You're talking about European soccer, English Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah, not pickup games in the park. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even know. I mean, from a business standpoint, what's the tax situation over there? I don't even know what it is. If you're playing in the English Premier League, I mean, you hear about these lofty salaries for Cristiano Ronaldo, 20 million. Yeah. How much of that does he keep? Yeah. And how much does that?
Yeah,
come to the country. I have no idea what the tax situation
what the international laws are. Right? I know that there's these expatriates, they call them, act, and where you can, like if you're working for Shell Oil or something and you're overseas, there's so much money that you can earn without paying federal income tax.
It's got to be high because the educational system is set up, especially at the collegiate level, where it's free. So it's got to be high. I mean, because this stuff's got to be paid for.
Boy, got me.
Which, thinking of college.
Business of sports there. There we go.
That's it. Exactly. Well, hold on. Let's go on a personal level here.
Yeah.
I watched that video of your son.
My youngest son. That's my youngest son.
You're talking about the swimming.
I got swimmers in my family. Yeah. Nicky had a good weekend in Seattle. Just not to alienate the audience, but there was a regional swim meet in Seattle. My son is a year-round club swimmer, and he caught lightning in the bottle for 2 days, and just put in some eye-popping time. So nice. So he's very serious about his swimming, and the hard work paid off. And
I got to get him out in the waves, do some body surfing with this kid.
We need some different
he's
sports.
He's not an open water swimmer.
Oh, is that right?
No,
he could get into it.
I mean, if you see the video, it looks like he's got a little motor on his back.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Speaking of open water swimming,
yeah.
I recently did a story on a fellow by the name of Cameron Bellamy. He's a guy from South Africa, lives in the Bay Area. This guy went to the island of Barbados, swam around the entire island, took him 41 hours.
Jeez.
41 hours.
Straight?
That's crazy. That is nuts.
41 hours straight.
Yeah, I've heard people swimming across the English Channel.
He's done that. English Channel. There's another event called the Seven Seas. He's done all that.
You have to go to the bathroom.
You just go. Hey, it's not. It's not. That's just the freak part or the feedings. Every half hour, he's in there, and they have to throw a
energy bar or something at him?
No, not an energy bar.
It's fish.
No, it's a bottle like a regular athletic bottle. Filled with all kinds of protein.
Sure.
They tie it to the end of a rope and they throw it at him.
Interesting.
He grabs the bottle, drinks it,
and he's
to keep up his strength.
Wow.
And it's
every half hour.
Anti-shark stuff, so that the sharks.
Well, it depends on what waters he's swimming in too. If you're swimming here in the Bay Area, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Especially when you get close to the Farallon Islands.
Yeah.
And people have swum to and from the Farallon Islands.
That's amazing.
That is pretty crazy because the water is very treacherous. Not forget the sharks and all that. I mean,
here's the
current. Yeah.
People think that there are a lot of shark attacks. Actually, the great white sharks don't attack that often. They don't have to because there's so much food available for them.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, they're not aggressive. They're very passive. They don't have to be aggressive.
Tiger sharks are, I think.
Tiger sharks are a different story, but that's in a different part of the world.
And that's apparently tiger sharks are the only ones that are the predator, or
A little smaller and more aggressive.
But sea turtles, that's their only prey. Basically.
Really?
Yeah, like to munch on those guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Jeez, how
Shark's very sharp. It's just very
gotta have
powerful
sharp teeth to
jaws.
break through those hard shells.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Wow.
Okay. What wide receiver holds the record for the most receptions in a season?
In a season.
In a season.
All right.
Yeah,
Don't touch that dial, because Sports Econ 101 will continue.
We'll continue
after this.
Let us continue.
Now, I don't know if this one's been broke, because this one's going back to 2002. I don't know. Sometimes I think where I get these questions that it's like how up to date
2002. Who would that be?
2002's most reception season.
I remember Jerry Rice Day. What was it in 2002 or 2001?
T.O.'s got
And
most
T.O.
receptions
had
in the
that.
game.
He had like 20 catches or something in that game. That was crazy.
Yeah,
Rich Walkoff. That was the game where Jerry cursed out Rich Walkoff on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't that game. It was one of the games before that.
I can, for reporting something.
Yeah, there was something going on, some funny business.
That was Rich doing.
He's doing okay. He's had back problems.
Yeah.
I saw him at the Harbor Point Club
He's a big tennis
about
guy.
a month ago. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, he looks good.
Yeah.
Lives in Petaluma.
He's got a problem with his back though. He's got scoliosis, which is, not good. Not good. It's going to be.
Is he gonna start like hunching over and stuff?
Yeah, he's just kind of sort of to the side there. Not as bad as Tony Salvador. That poor guy. Oof. Yeah.
All right, guys. Here
All
we go. Welcome back, because we're still here and the audience is still here.
Still standing.
It's still standing.
Still in front of a microphone.
As we continue,
Yes.
Sports Econ 101, Edward Brown, Bruce
Is
McGowan,
this thing on?
Is this thing on?
Hello.
Say that.
I think Andy Griffith, wasn't it? Years ago.
Andy Griffin just said that?
Oh, it's some old movie. Hello. Is this thing on? Oh, no, Howard Cosell. Is this thing on?
Yeah, that sounds more.
Who
like
am I
Howard.
talking to? I want to talk to the producer. How dare you interrupt me with a soda can commercial?
Solar team. I haven't heard that in a long
Yeah.
time. All right, second trivia question was, what wide receiver holds the record for the most receptions in a season?
In a
In
season?
a season.
Season for the
Ooh.
2002 year.
2002. Excuse me.
Wasn't-
The number is
wasn't Terrell-
143.
Wasn't Terrell Owens?
No.
No. Well, obviously it wasn't Jerry Rice.
Nope.
Season.
Played for
Wow.
the Colts.
Played for the Colts. Wow, only
Was that
2002.
Peyton Manning?
Reggie Wayne? No.
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin
Oh, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
What Peyton Manning was playing.
Peyton Manning, yeah.
Wow. Did not know. That's a good one. That's a good one. You're
Thank you
stumped
very
us again.
much. Wow.
Good
Let's
questions
see.
here today, Edward. Marvin
In
Harrison.
fact, the last question is one that I had never heard of this moniker or
Nickname.
nickname. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the word I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
that'll be the next
Okay.
one here.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're one on the cricket though. That was
That was a tough one.
that was out of left field, man.
Okay. Oh, we were talking Mike McCarthy getting fired. So,
Yeah.
do you think sometimes they fire these coaches just to shake things up because nothing else is working?
No, no, it's
Presumably
not,
there's no bad calls.
there
No.
were problems within the Packer
Yeah.
organization even before that happened. And everybody to a man knew that this was going to be the last. This was going to be
Maybe
it
his
for Mike
last
McCarthy.
season,
And I believe even Aaron Rodgers had some issues with McCarthy toward the end. Now, Rodgers would never do that because Rodgers, good a guy as he is, he's not going to say anything
No.
controversial. But those are the grumblings that that I get. In fact, I got a buddy of mine on the financial side who is from Wisconsin, a big Packer fan, and so he gives me all these insights on what's going on with them. So,
But just in general, though, if you have a coach who's not making any silly coaching calls and he's got a decent staff, but the
They
team
never won a
just
Super
isn't
Bowl.
winning.
Well, and also is the way the Packers played yesterday. Reportedly, they played a lackadaisical game. They lost to a bad team. They sort of were going through the motions, and that was kind of like the final straw. Maybe they were going to wait till after the season, but in light of losing that game, and I guess they missed a game-tying field goal. Mason Crosby missed a game-tying field goal that could have won it at the end of or could have tied it at the end of regulation. It just stuck in the craw of the ownership. So, Mike McCarthy will end up somewhere else, and he'll do just fine.
he had a good run.
Yeah,
12 years.
12 years.
12 years plus.
How many
So-
Super Bowl wins?
Just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one. Now, speaking of teams that are consistent, I was
He
looking
was the first coach let go by the Packers in their
Yeah.
98-year history.
Wow.
Is that right?
As far as in season.
Oh, in season. Yeah.
Season.
I was going to say. But, you talk about teams that are consistent, whereas the Packers have been kind of anything but this year. How about the Patriots? The last 9 years, I heard this stat somewhere today. The last 9 years, including this year, they have never lost more than 3 of their first 12 games. It's either 10-2 or 9-3 going into Week 13. Now they're man, you talk about
For the Patriots?
Patriots, yeah.
God, remember when they were bad?
Oh,
Remember the 70s?
Well, like the Warriors.
The Boston
God,
Patriots.
Yeah, like the Warriors in the 1990s.
God, remember Plunkett, number
I
one
was
pick?
just
Boy, getting beat up the way it is.
Yeah.
Poor Jim Plunkett took a horrible beating.
Oh,
His confidence was shot, and he got in Oakland and got a chance for a second life.
I mean, I remember him winning the Heisman Trophy and the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And then he gets picked up by the worst team, which is the Boston Patriots. And
well, it's interesting to note his first game in the pros, he beat the Raiders in New England in the first ever game at Schaefer Stadium. The last game played at Schaefer Stadium was the famous snowball game where Tom Brady allegedly fumbled, and they gave tuck rule, and they gave it back to New England. That was the beginning of their first Super Bowl run, and that was John Gruden's last game as a Raider coach until he returned this past season.
Wow. And that was, I still remember Adam Vinatieri like kicking this thing. It's like, how does this thing go through the goalposts?
Oh, that one just barely made it through.
Yeah.
I was on the sidelines for that game. That was a surreal night. It was like watching guys playing in a snow globe. It really was
Tough going for the Packers. I mean, the year didn't even start off good. I mean, Rodgers hurt his knee right away. Yeah, they beat the Bears. Then the Packers went like 3-7-1 ever since. It just was.
Speaking of the Bears, how about the Bears losing to the Giants in overtime?
Yeah. Just let you know, this is one of those, to borrow the cliche, any given Sunday. Because these are professional football players.
Well, there was that one play.
That's why I laugh. That's why I laugh when they go, could Alabama beat the Buffalo? No. They couldn't beat the 49ers. They couldn't beat the Raiders.
The best college team could not beat the worst pro team.
Absolutely not.
No chance.
Yeah, because in theory, you're taking the best players from college and putting them on a team.
Yeah.
And the guys play for a while. Yeah. All right, a little change of pace here, too. So take a guess as to how much the average NBA player makes.
I'm going to say around 3 to 4 million.
Average salary NBA?
Yeah, now this is kind of tough because if one guy makes 100 million, another guy makes 1.
Yeah.
Do you say
all right, maybe
I'm not sure.
5 or 6 million.
Median.
I'm gonna say average. Yeah, 5-6 million average salary. 10 million. Wow.
Well, that average, like you said, that averages out because there are guys like Steph Curry that are making what?
I think that's how they do it. They just take the total and they divide it by how many players. Okay,
It's got to be an NBA minimum though. I wonder if you sign up with
a team. About 800,000. I think it's something like 800.
I think it's you didn't have that on here.
It's pretty good coin. Pretty good paper.
That's what some CEOs get, huh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
In soccer, Barcelona. Guess how much the average player makes?
15 million?
Close. 14.
14
wow.
million.
Lionel Messi makes 60 million
Whoa.
a year.
I wonder how much
and he doesn't even get to use his hands. I mean, come on.
Well, he does when he throws the ball in.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Okay, and the highest NBA payroll, average person.
The team with the highest payroll you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is it the Warriors?
No, they're number 2.
Number 2
at 10.2 million. Who's got 10.3 million?
Wow, who would that be? Houston, maybe? No.
What do you think, Vern?
I'm just looking at the numbers, guys. The average NBA salary is 6 million. Wow. So that's amazing.
All right.
How do we get 10 million?
Oh well.
I'm probably looking at an old. Yeah, this is 2017.
Oh, there you
numbers.
Go.
Yeah, so
but
I'm sure it's more than that.
Well, yeah, but wow, to go from 6 to 10. That's a huge jump.
Can't be done.
The team with the highest payroll, though. Yeah. It's got to be one of the better teams, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good players on there. I'll just tell you.
Lakers?
Thunder.
Oh,
okay.
Russell Westbrook
probably makes the most of that.
Right.
Paul George.
Yeah.
But between PG-13 and Westbrook, you're paying those two guys. That's a chunk.
I like PG-13.
Yeah,
that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
It's CP3 and all these other
nicknames.
Remember AK-47?
Yep.
Right. Andre Karolinko.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And when Baron Davis dunked over him.
He kind of took his hand and sort of smushed it into his face.
I like Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. The French rejection.
Ooh.
Is that
he blocked so many shots.
He's good. I like him.
That sounds like something you do to your girlfriend. You know, French rejection. You know?
Yeah, so I gave her the French rejection.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, ladies. I didn't mean that.
Oh, you guys.
I'm from an earlier era.
Right.
You know, got to learn the new ways.
Any baseball news to talk about?
You know, a lot of interest. It's a little too early. A lot of interesting possibilities though on the horizon. You know, with moves, players move. You know, here in the Bay Area, everybody's talking about it. The Giants going to hang on to Madison Bumgarner. Who's going to pick him up? Who would want to take a chance on a guy who's 30 years old, maybe past his prime, lost a few miles an hour on his fastball, wants a lot of money? Should the Giants trade him? What will they get in return? Will they get equal value? I mean, those kind of
New York Yankees, line one.
Yeah. They could use him.
They got it.
Now, you said wants a lot of money. I mean, has he specifically said that, or because he seemed?
I think
he
it's
gave a cow to his wife for the wedding. So
I think it's
kind of
safe to assume that. I don't think
okay.
You know, he's one of those guys who kind of takes a low profile. What do you think?
I think you got to wait till the baseball winter meeting, so December 9th.
Yeah.
And I think out of those 3-4 days, you'll probably see some news, some movement.
I'm one of the few
kind of dormant right now.
I'm one of the few people who thinks they should hang on to him for the simple reason that he's never had any arm problems. You build around a guy like that. If you get some players in return, you might get a good player. But a guy like Bumgarner with his record and the kind of durability he has, you build a staff around him. He's only 30 years old.
Just keep him off of dirt bikes.
Keep him off the dirt bikes.
Well, they brought in Ziti to kind of reshape the whole thing as their head of player operations, and their farm system needs to be real. I mean, there's so many things to fix. By the time the Giants get good again, when will that be? 3-4 years. The question is how good is Mad Bum going to be in 3 or 4 years? Because that's what it's going to take.
No, my argument for keeping him is strictly just it's an emotional tie, just because he did so much good for the Giants. But I can see the argument to trade him.
I think the untouchables are Brandon Crawford, and Buster Posey. Anybody else?
Yeah, they're up in
you can change.
Yeah, I agree.
Even look what they did with Andrew McCutcheon.
And then it's thought that they may bring him back.
Really?
Yeah. No, he actually didn't play that badly. He just didn't.
Didn't give the spark that they were looking
the great numbers were not there, but he was a great influence in that clubhouse. The players liked him.
He was a good guy.
Good guy. He was.
That was good. That's
real
important.
Pro. It is important. It is important. Clubhouse chemistry is very important.
Yeah, but you got to be more than the good guy, though.
Well, that's true.
No, true.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to hit. You got to produce. You got to drive him in. I mean,
his numbers weren't great, but the hits that he got some clutch hits. But again,
got traded to the Yankees, helped him out a little bit.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with Andrew.
And we were talking before the show about Damian Jones.
The Warriors.
Young center tore his pec, and this is the second time this has happened.
Not an uncommon injury. I mean, it's just
in basketball though. Is it common in basketball, Vernon? I know in football because the guys do so much weightlifting, they compensate. They overdevelop that area.
Yeah, but you think the twist, the turns, the contact. It's just such a kind of a freak thing that can happen.
A friend of mine tore his, but it was because of doing bench press. He just overdid it. He's a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of wonder playing basketball if, let's say, someone hits your arm and he gets pushed back or something like that. But like you said, you can get it done doing just
and he plays a position where there's going to be contact. It's unavoidable.
Well, the good news is DeMarcus Cousins is coming back fairly soon, and yes, he's not going to be the same player he was, but I think with the relative youth they have up front with guys like Kevon Looney and Jordan Bell, they're going to need some experience up there, and DeMarcus Cousins should give it to him.
But I think on the national front, though, I think so far everything goes to Toronto.
Yeah,
the way they're playing. Yeah. Kawhi Leonard all the way down there. They got it rolling.
I mean, they had a good team before, but adding Kawhi really kind of.
Mm-hmm. You know what amazes me? They get rid of Dwayne Casey, was coach of the year, and he's doing a pretty good job in Detroit, and they're better now. Well, they got Kawhi Leonard. He's made a big difference, and their supporting cast is pretty good. Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is not a supporting cast player, but you know what I'm saying. They've got some good players.
Yeah, and Detroit. Is doing pretty well.
Detroit is playing respectable basketball. They beat the Warriors the other night. Of course, a lot of people the Warriors have lost 8 of 13, which is not a surprise. You miss Curry and Green, and you're relying on younger players. And Steve Kerr even admitted the other night, I did not coach well in that game against Detroit.
Called himself out.
Yeah, which
that's good. I respect that.
Very refreshing. I like Steve Kerr. He was uncommonly a little curt. Well, though with the media, he got tired of being asked the same questions. But Steve Kerr. Give him a break. Once in a while he's can get a little upset with the media. It's not going to hurt anybody.
Well, he should record his voice and his answers, and then when they ask it, they just hit the button.
I love talking to that guy though, because he never gives you the same old tired, worn cliches. You know, he's thoughtful.
And he's funny. Like when you see him on TV and he gets asked questions on the court.
Yeah.
You know, he's a funny guy.
It's a worldly guy, well educated. You know, we like to see that.
I'm just sitting here looking at Toronto. I mean, as we take the show, 20-4,
Wow,
by far the best record in the NBA.
20-4.
Okay, guys. Last trivia question is: what NFL team boasted a quartet of linebackers known as the Crunch Bunch?
The Crunch Bunch.
I never even heard that.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
the New York Sack Exchange. Remember with
the Crunch Bunch.
Crunch Bunch.
come on, who was that?
New York Sack Exchange?
Yeah, come on. Who was the main?
Lawrence Taylor?
Mark Gaston.
Oh, you're talking about the Jets.
The Jets.
Yeah,
Right.
that was the
Sometimes
Jets.
because Sports Econ 101.
Crunch
Right
Bunch.
back with some closing comments.
And the Crunch Bunch.
Yeah, I never heard of the Crunch Bunch.
I haven't heard of that, but I can't. Really? Linebackers. You know, it was an interesting team. Was the 2000 Ravens? They had, I think, 7.
They had no offense,
but they
got it done with defense.
They had, I think, 7 or 9 players that made it to the Pro Bowl that year. And then of those 7 or 9, I think most of them were gone within a couple of years. They were sort of the classic, you know, let's put together the
dream team.
Yeah.
Led by Brian Billick.
Yeah. Brian Billick. There was an interesting guy. Interesting.
And
name.
Trent Dilfer.
Trent Dilfer.
The pride of Aptos, California.
That's right.
Was that
Tough dude.
Yeah.
Tough dude.
John Brody's son-in-law.
That's right. John Brody's still around, but he's not doing too well, though. I know that.
No, he's the two things he was known for are gone: his gift of gab and his arm.
Yeah, that's sad. I saw him at a Niners thing back in 2012 at Candlestick, and he was just like, "Who is this guy?" Sad.
Well, he's how old? 80s what?
83.
Yeah, but that stroke,
Yeah,
that stroke just did him.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Strokes are tough.
One time Cron 4 sportscaster.
That's right.
In the mid 1970s.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yes.
Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today. I'm Edward.
Never said
I
last
just say
time.
last time for today. Yeah.
Don Simmons
I
always
always
said
said just for you.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that to a guy about to turn 90.
Yeah, well, I'm not about to turn 90,
No.
so I can say Edward Brown here along
Neither am
with
I. Neither
Vern
am I.
Glenn and Bruce McGowan.
Allegedly.
Okay, last trivia question. What NFL team boasted a quartet of linebackers known as the Crunch Bunch?
God, I'm going to think back. It's got to be back in the 80s sometime.
I believe that is correct. That's why they had all those
Washington Redskins? No.
Redskins had the Hogs,
Yeah, they had
Maybe the Bears?
the Smurfs.
No.
Not the Bears.
Smurfs.
The Crunch Bunch.
Yeah, they were the receiving corps. They were
Oh,
so
yeah.
small.
The Washington Redskins, yeah.
That
The
was
Smurfs.
the Art Monk or he's
Charlie Brown, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, here we go. The New York Giants: Harry Carson,
Oh.
Brad Van Pelt, Lawrence Taylor, and Brian Kelly.
Wow.
I never knew that.
I was going
One.
to actually, I didn't think that was the group.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
but I mean, for the 80s.
Should have
Okay,
gone with my first instinct there.
they always go. With
I always wanted to do that, by the way. Just there you go.
play with that.
There you go.
You know what that is? It's a clock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I have it open.
Oh,
Now
sorry.
I don't know what time it is.
Sorry
Okay,
about
thank you
that.
very much. All right, guys. Thoughts for the day. 2 things define you: your patience when you have nothing, and your attitude when you have everything. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And surround yourself with people who are only going to lift you higher. That's why I hang out with you guys, because I'm not sure why you hang out with me. But
You mean we don't bring you down, Edward?
No,
Don't bring me
yeah,
down.
okay, yeah.
Remember that song, Don't Bring Me Down, Bruce?
ELO.
Yeah, yellow.
Was it Bruce?
Bruce. I thought it was Bruce. I don't know.
I can't. I always was
Don't
wondering
bring-
what are they? Yeah, don't
I-
bring me down.
Bruce?
Something.
Yeah, or
It sounds
Moose?
like-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, who knows?
Remember that song
Yeah, dude.
from
Yeah.
ELO? That's right.
ELO.
And that's kind of dating
Electric
us.
Light Orchestra.
That's right.
1970s and 80s, right?
Yeah, mostly the 70s.
Mostly the
Yeah, mostly
70s.
they had a couple.
Great music in the 70s, yeah.
All right, guys. Gonna
Yeah.
cut out for today. But for the audience, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing, you're going to be, that's all, folks. We're going to be discussing sport topics from a business perspective. We're also going to ask more sports trivia questions and having fun. Thanks for listening.
Always having fun.
That's right. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, America.
So long.
All right. Another one bites the dust. Good job, guys. That's fun.
All right.
Good job, guys.
Booyah, booyah,
Good job.
booyah, booyah. Let's see what we got here.
So I'm looking for an intern.
Looking for an intern.
Yeah.
Paid internship?
Yeah, I'd like to give them a little bit of stipend as well as maybe see if I can get some like college credit.
Interesting.
You know?
Oh, that's a true. That's
Okay.
a true internship. You're not gonna give them college credit.
Yeah. Any suggestions? I know that.
Wow. What would they be? What would the duties?
Well, I'd like to have them help like with this. I don't know how to do the YouTube in such a way that I can throw it onto the TV station because you have to do it in high def stereo or something. And you know, I've got the YouTube here, but for some reason the station won't accept that. But then also, you know, looking up for the helping put the show together with the trivia questions and that sort of thing, and you know, trying to get.
So you're talking about an intern for the show or an intern for your? Oh, okay.
For doing radio show because they can help me with both the sports and the business one.
Yeah. Oh, you know, let me poke around the station and see if I'll talk to some of our some of the people we have. I don't know if we have any people from Marin that might be interested. We have some very talented young producer types that God, I tell you, working at KCBS, I have not met a person there yet who isn't just a real solid, dedicated pro. It's just it's like working. It's like working for at the gold standard. I mean, it's really nice.
Oh,
it really is nice. And it's not the station it used to be, obviously.
Yeah.
But they still are #1 in the market next to KQED, and I'm try to squeeze another few years out of that too. They seem to like me.
Yeah.
My boss told me the other day. He goes, "As long as I'm here, you'll be here."
Oh,
so,
that's nice.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had one a long time ago who just kind of helped out more like at the station itself. But yeah, I thought, okay, we'll go to like College of Marin or San Francisco State, any kind of broadcasting type of.
Get somebody local. You know, do you know? Oh God, you know who would be good to talk to? I can talk to my friend Stuart Horn.
Oh yeah.
Who teach? You know Stuart?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stuart teaches over at. Do you know how to reach him?
I think I do.
I don't think I have his number anymore because
let's see.
I don't think. You know, I say give Stuart a call.
That's a good idea.
Tell him I told you to call. Sure. I haven't talked to Stuart in ages.
There's some Dominican kids that do that do the San Rafael Pacific games.
Yeah. No, here we go. Here's Stuart's number. 254-5011.
Oh,
that's a 415. 254-5011. 254-5011. Yeah, Stuart's a good guy. He's well connected. He's got a lot of students there.
Yeah, he's the one who helped me put all this together.
Is that right? Yeah, we worked together on the Pacifics that one year. That was fun. You know, he helped to set up. He did all the engineering and did a couple innings and did color, and that was fun. We did like.
I like his voice. He's got an interesting voice.
He has an interesting voice. He's an interesting guy. He's definitely. I don't think Stuart will ever get married. He has a girlfriend, but it's kind of like more of a casual thing. He's one of those guys. He's just one of those guys who is a rolling stone, you know.
Yeah. I
was thinking about my wife last night. You know, I'm lying in bed with her. I'm thinking, God, I don't know how many more years she's got. And I was thinking, what am I going to do when I don't have a partner here? You know, I've been with her 22 years. How am I going to handle that? God, that's tough.
I know. It is. Life goes on. But
yeah, you got to make. And one of the good things about being older, I mean, this whole thing with this little stroke I had is like, okay, you just got to take it and roll with it. You know, do the best you can. Not a surprise. They didn't have me on the. Now I got these meds that got me, and it's like, oh fuck, I'm walking around like a zombie half the time. Ooh, sorry. Are we still on live?
Well, we're still. I'll turn this off in 3 minutes.
We didn't cut that out of there.
I'm trying to get this thing to go to 56 minutes because if I can figure out a way to get it onto the station, it'd be kind of fun to do that. Let's see. So.
I should probably out of school there.
Okay. Let's see here. So
next week, same time, same place?
Next Monday?
Next Monday?
Hey, today's the first day of Hanukkah. Hell yeah, how about that?
Monday?
No, today is.
Oh, is it really? Oh, okay. That's right.
Okay. So let's see here.
Were you raised in
yeah.
Pretty serious?
We had a Hanukkah bush.
Yeah.
No Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Must have been a heck of a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
When did you never switch teams anyway?
But I didn't. See, that's the thing. People think I switched teams, but I didn't. I actually feel more Jewish now than I did before. But I accepted Christ in '84, right? Because the Jews are waiting for the Messiah, right? Mm-hmm. They're still waiting, And what I did was I went here, and it's like, hey, you know what? The Old Testament talks
Yeah.
about this guy coming. This is the guy. And so
I
I just
envy people that have that. I've never been able to buy into it. I just can't do it. I'm too old to do it, and I just can't.
don't say that.
No,
I understand if you want to just say,
no,
you
believe
know,
me, I've tried. I've read enough, and it doesn't do anything for me. What gives me a sense of purpose is when I'm out in the world and feel the balance of the energy of the forces that we have, that we know are here. That's where I feel.
Oh, I mean, I feel that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. Going into a
it's not
room
one
with a
versus
bunch of
another.
people and talking about somebody that was around 2,000 years ago means nothing to me. It just doesn't resonate. And I believe me, I respect people who are spiritual, and I think it works for them. I think it's a good thing. But for me, and also the home I was raised in. I was raised in an agnostic home.
Yeah.
And my parents we did go to church. We went to. They wanted me to see a little bit of everything, so we went to many different churches. The one I liked the most was the Black Baptist in Marin City, because we got to know the minister over there. Became a friend, and those people they had so much more
a lot of passion
for it.
Well, we know David, the guy who does the Thanksgiving ones every year. He's a Big God Ministries. Big David Hall.
Yeah,
he's got that. And actually, he's not in Marin City though.
Okay.
I mean, he does his Mill Valley Community Center.
Oh, okay.
He's very cool.
Yeah.
He's a quite passionate guy.
Like I said, I think it's a great source of solace and stability for some people. But I don't know what Vern's background is, but I've just never